and Mr. Ash Ramsamy from NICE, who would present about how generative AI can help improve CX. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please welcome Mr. Edmund Lim and Mr. Ash Ramsamy from NICE. Give applause.
Selamat pagi.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning. First of all, thanks to ICCA for having NICE here to share some of these cool topics that we have been hearing for a long time. I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Edmund Lim. I'm from NICE. I'm based out in Singapore. So earlier on when I say Selamat pagi, that's the only 5 words I know in Indonesia. Alright, so I'm based out in Singapore. I take care of Asia Pacific. I run the business unit of digital solutions. And I also take care of Middle East. And I'm very honored today to have one of my colleagues to join me, a very handsome and macho guy, Ash.
Hi, good morning, everybody. As Edmund's mentioned, my name is Ash Ramsamy. I've been part of the NICE team for a better part of 6 years. Initially, I joined the business to help lead the analytics business practice in the region. And in more recent times, I've taken over as the business manager for Indonesia and some of our strategic accounts in the region. So I'm quite excited to be having a chat with you this morning, give you some insight into some of the new developments within the industry as well as at NICE. And without any further ado, I'll actually pass over to Edmund.
Cool. So, first of all, Juliet gave a really good presentation earlier on, and it was on the same topic of AI. And now we know Juliet does kickboxing, so don't mess around with her. Where's Juliet? Okay, she's gone. Okay, let's move on. This is the agenda for today. So we're not just going to talk about Gen AI. And before this event, I took some time and I did some research on Indonesian market. So we'll cover a little bit on what Indonesian market looks like today. Then we walk down the memory lane of how customer service has evolved over the years. And we take a look at what kind of pitfalls we are getting and what are the pitfalls that we are hearing from some of the customers. Obviously, we talk about how Gen AI is being used, how can they be used, what are some of the risks that are involved when we talk about early adopters. Then Ash will cover a little bit about, what is NICE approach from a customer experience perspective. And then we look at future. Actually, it's more like the present today. What are some of the things that we are helping our customers and other brands doing some of this stuff. And last but not least, we also want to learn from you, audience. So we're going to do a bit of polling questions. We've got some gifts that we want to put on your hands. So let's be interactive. And we really want to hear some of the opinions from you. Okay, let's crack on. Right, so this is the report that I told you about. This was done in January 2023, and this is only for Indonesia. All right, and the red box that I boxed it out, it's the time spent using internet every day. So Indonesians, they have been spending almost 8 hours on internet every day. Ash, do you spend 8 hours on internet?
Probably a bit less, eh?
Okay, stop lying.
8 hours a bit much.
Stop lying. Well, what I really want to say is that we are seeing a lot of people going digital. Why are people spending so much time? 8 hours is like 1/3 a day. You're spending so much time on internet. And if you look on the right side, why are people spending all this time on internet? They are finding information, finding new ideas and inspiration. And the bottom, which is in the middle, which is really important as well, they are researching on products and brands. They are researching how to do things. Does it ring a bell? Yes, it does, because all this is what we call customer experience. So I think pandemic has been a huge catalyst, in driving digital transformation. And we are seeing the behavior of customers when they are interacting with brands today. Right, in the past, a lot of people might just call in and say, you know, how can I help? Can you help me find this information? So on and so forth. But it has changed. Early on, someone from BCA shared, right? They have been going into digital channels. They are looking through into digital messaging, so on and so forth. So it's almost imperative that brands today needs to have that capability to interact with customers through all these digital channels. All right, let's look further. Now, we talk about social media. Earlier on, you know, again, BCA, we're talking about WeChat, WhatsApp, we talk about social media, we talk about web chat, so on and so forth. And again, people, they are using social media, find inspiration, looking for contents, find products to purchase. And if you look at the right side, these are the top 5 channels that Indonesian people like you are using. WhatsApp, top of the list. And can you imagine if you don't have that channel that your customer preferred? And they got no choice, because I'm on WhatsApp most of the time. I'm guilty of it. I myself am on WhatsApp every now and then, right? And not just from a personal perspective, I also use WhatsApp for business to ask questions. Earlier on, Juliet talked about conversational AI and whatnot. And we are seeing that coming up so often that business today are looking at WhatsApp as a means of interaction other than your websites, your mobile app and whatnot. And the one thing that is really interesting is no longer just WhatsApp. It's also about social media, your Facebook, your Instagram, and more recently, TikTok. And so many times we are seeing TikTok having advertisement campaigns, promotion on TikTok channels. And if I'm a consumer, I like their products, I want to be able to interact with the brands immediately. I don't want to like exit from TikTok, go into the website, make a phone call, do a chat. That's going to be ineffective. That's going to be very painful for some customers. And the risk of doing that is a lot of customers then abandon it, and they will look for your competitors that has a better frictionless experience that they can enjoy when they are looking at your campaigns and whatnot. All right, just a few more, bear with me, because I think this is really important. And you look at social media, any kind of social media, Indonesian, 82.4%. And I think it's one of the highest in Southeast Asia, 82.4%. Well, they might be using it for personal purpose. I get it, right? Look at posts, I look at Ash goes for vacation. Cool, nice. But not forgetting that there are a lot of brands, they are doing advertisement, they are doing customer care using those channels as well. And of recent, I think 6 to 9 months, where I've been talking to a lot of customers, Indonesia as well, Indonesia market as well, there's a need, I think, for many organizations to move into social media to have that interaction with your customers. And the next one is really important, and I think anybody from sales and marketing in this room, they will totally be blown away. And if you look at the statistic, 70.9% of people research brands online before making a purchase. So what does that mean? That means if you are not available on those digital channels, it's really, really tough for you to start looking at market acquisition, sales, leads, conversion. It's really tough. So it's really important for brands and organizations to understand how do they embark in this journey on a digital entry perspective. How are they going to leverage on AI to understand what the customer behavior is, and how do they make use of all these insights and drive business and improve on your market share, improve on your sales, so on and so forth. All right, last one, I promise you. The next one, which I think is very, very important, search engines. And today, if I'm looking to travel, so I just arrived in Jakarta yesterday, and obviously I'm searching for a hotel to stay somewhere near, right? And I don't go to Hilton. Well, I go to Marriott because I'm a member for Marriott, but no, I didn't. I still start from a Google search. And when I want to look for a telco plan, for example, the best telco plan for a prepaid card, I Google. So it's important, and it's top of the list, right? It's 41% of brand discovery happens on a Google search. Sorry, I should not use Google, search engine, right? And the next one that is really applicable to you guys will be the brand's website, the landing page. And if you look at some other channels, there will be social networks, search engines, brands' websites, mobile apps as well. So I just want to kind of summarize this. And I think the statistic already tells us that this is almost essential. It's no longer a good to have. It's a need to have. We need to have the capabilities not only to have those channels, but to have channels that your customers prefer. You and I prefer. We are all customers of a telco, of a bank, of an insurance. So we want to be able to help them provide all those digital channels so that you can start engaging them. And why do I start my presentation with all these statistics? Because you can have the best AI engine in the world, but if you don't have the customers, there's nothing to analyze about. So what I really want to share is, from an AI perspective, you need those data. You need the digital footprints that your customer is having before you start coming out with AI rules, models, so on and so forth. Okay, let's crack on because I don't want to steal Ash thunder. Right? Okay. And I did another study on Indonesia AI infographic, and I was blown away. And I really thank ICCA for inviting me because it gives me a chance to go study on Indonesia market. The potential in this year for Indonesia is 212.6 million, the largest in Southeast Asia. Honestly, personally, I was shocked. It was that big, right? And the growth in this year alone is 24.4%. And the projection in the next couple of 6-7 years is going to be 27.19%. And watch this, 1.1 billion potential market volume that you're going to get from an AI perspective. And we'll talk about why later on, right? And this whole AI initiative that we are looking at, Indonesia, being one of the largest adopters, users, they are driving $1 trillion in Southeast Asia economy. So why is that so important? And we don't want to be just a me too. Oh, this company is using AI. I want to do it as well. But that's not the case. The case of it is because we want to provide a customer experience. We want to provide a seamless, a frictionless customer experience. And when you do that, your business starts growing. And that has shown. A lot of statistics has shown that, this is part of the driver. Customer experience, good customer experience drives your business growth. Okay, now let's look at the right side. Earlier on, we talked about all these, potentials of market, and why is it so big? And because Indonesia brands organization today has very high receptiveness, adoption rate of AI, 24.6%. In this region, I would say we got 9 countries in ASEAN, and Indonesia is 1/4 of it, highest in ASEAN. And very good use cases. There are one whole list in the report. I took out 2, which is really important in this agenda. One of the most important use case in driving business, customer experience. And I think we all can relate to it. Earlier, Julia talked about, her expectation. And things have changed. Our expectation has changed over time. And the next one, I really like it. And we talk about Gen AI, right? How do we boost productivity? And I think Indonesian companies and even the government recognize the fact that it's really important to boost productivity. And when you have good productivity, it actually helps improve the customer experience as well. So I touched on government, and I was reading a lot of articles. There were a lot of government initiatives from putting in right investments and having partnership with AI vendors like ourselves. in driving some of these projects, campaigns. How do we do framework, guidelines, and things like that? Education. So many of these initiatives are around educating the young generation. We have seen a lot of programs being mapped out into universities. We are seeing students being exposed to AI in a very, very early stage, which is really fantastic because when they step out into society next time, they understand how to use AI to better help drive a business. And the next one, I'm not sure if you guys heard of this, is called Stranas. So it's a government initiative to accelerate innovation and use of AI. And I think it's really amazing because the fact that your government today has seen the importance of using AI, Gen AI, to really drive business. And with that strategy, you actually have a very good framework in how do we get started. How do we take that first step out? So, just to summarize this infographic, I think there's a lot of work to be done, regardless, but I've seen that the first step has been taken, and we have seen a lot of adoption going on. And what we really want to do next is, how do we then move to the next stage? All right, does this look familiar? It does, right? Because Juliet has put on something very similar. But I'm going to show you my perspective. Anybody born after 2000? 5, 6, 0. Really? Except me? No? Okay. So I always, no, I'm not 2000, I'm the 70s, okay? Ash is 2000. No? Ash? So, I want to share my perspective of this. I always tell my children that I'm very lucky that I am born in the analog. I'm not born in the analog. I'm born where there's analog, right? Brick and mortar. And I grew up, we have a very simple analog phone, right? And in the past, when you want to find out information, when you have a needs, you want to buy something, you want to reset password even, or whatever, like you want to interact with brands, the only 1-2 choice is you go visit the branch or you call the contact center. So that was like the mid-70s, 80s. And I started from there, right? And then things really evolved. And you look through then 90s, there's the internet boom. Then we have the rise of smartphones. And we talk about, we have chatbots. Then we moved into omni-channel, then self-service, and finally today, right, thanks to ChatGPT, right, we are now being exposed to Gen AI. So why do I put up this chart? For 2 reasons. Number one, our expectation has evolved. Again, just calling out what Julia has presented. Our expectation has evolved. In the past, we can wait on a call 30 minutes, nobody dares to complain, because that's the norm. Today, if I wait for 10 minutes, I end the call. Right? So things has really evolved, and we have seen the expectation. We call it instant gratification. We want immediate answers to a lot of our solutions. So, an organization has seen this change. The persona has changed. They have seen the change. So with that change, the brands now took an additional step and start moving towards to the right. To have a consistent experience, to have an omni-channel strategy, to have a self-service. So today, instead of calling into the contact center, I've got other options. I've got knowledge management. A lot of you call it FAQ, but knowledge management. We have the ability now to do self-service online. Calculators, forms. Earlier on, we talked about EKYC. We have chatbots. And we can chat with agents online, through web chat, through mobile app. So there are so many options today. That's one concern now, because now you have so many products, offerings, technology that's involved. It's going to be really very crowded. And how do you then put all this together? Which Ash will cover it later. The second reason why I'm showing you this is really everything that's below. And don't get me wrong, all this technology has really evolved over time. But think about it, when SMS started in the 80s, wow, I mean, for the first time, we can text someone and, chat. Great. And business realize that. It's cool. And they start jumping into SMS. And what's the problem? It's costly. Right? Back then, SMS is costly. And they jump into it. Okay, then we moved on. I'm just going to call out a few examples. We talk about Gen 1 chatbot. Everybody has used a chatbot before. And back then, in the early 2000s, where chatbot just came out, it's really a rule-based. If this, else do that. That kind of stuff. Very traditional, not conversational at all. But, brands, organizations like yourself, they're all excited. Wow, now I can do a bot. I can use a bot to chat with my customer. I can interact with them. That's so amazing. But when they go live and they start interacting, they realize that, hey, I don't have enough models. I don't understand what intents are they calling in for. I don't know why they are chatting with the bots. And it becomes a double-edged sword. You're trying to improve using technology, but your CSAT is going to improve badly because the bot doesn't handle it. Right? Then we moved on and we come to Gen AI. Trust me, every single customer I speak to for the last 9 months asks about Gen AI. Every customer today has a small little project of Gen AI. So my first question for my customer is always, why do you need Gen AI? What are you using it for? And there's a concern because we've seen early adopters of such technology where they look at technology, then they go find a use case. So that's a very different approach that NICE is taking. We look at the use case and we look at the technology as an enabler for that use case, and Gen AI potentially could be it. So NICE takes a very conscious and careful effort to look at how Gen AI can help optimize your business. Okay, enough of this chart. I want to kind of ask Ash thoughts, because you have been around AI space for a while. And what do you think of the pitfalls, or what is tough? How should some of the brands or organization in Indonesia, what kind of first 2 steps that you think they can take?
Okay, that was unscripted. But going back to the question, steps on where to start would ideally be where your biggest pain points lie, and really understanding what your customers are saying and how they're interacting with your organizations. And that will help drive where the pitfalls are and the particular areas that you should be focusing on. So I think it's really about understanding the pain points and then knowing where you're going to plug in certain Gen AI capabilities to drive a use case and fix those pain points, yeah?
Cool. That was not planned. So he got caught unaware. Okay. So let's come to Gen AI. Again, we talk about use case, business case. So what can you use Gen AI for customer experience? And today we keep talking about digital. We talk about bots. We talk about how to automate some of this journey. So you want to make it human-like. You talk about self-service. How do we make it human-like? Today when you navigate your FAQ, you go to the search bar, you search, you filter, you read the articles. After reading 3 articles, they are still wrong. You can't find the information. You get fed up because I don't want to read 2 more articles to find the information. So that's where Gen AI comes. Remember Julia says storyteller? There you go. Because now, Gen AI can take all your articles, summarize them, and tell you a story. So instead of reading 5, 10 articles for you to get to what you want, Gen AI is going to help you do that job. Proactive AI-enabled journey. Today we are talking about a customer journey, not a customer transaction. So I use a bank example. Today, if I'm looking for a home loan, I go to a bank website, I look at a bank website, I'm happy with it, and I go on and I look at more plans and whatnot. But at the same time, I also read about some insurance plan. So what the bank really can do is to look at all this behavior that the customer is having and use Gen AI to suggest, right, to put together some of these offerings and help guide the customers. So you want to be proactive in it. So let's assuming Edmund has signed up for home loan in this bank, right? But because the bank knows that I'm also reading up on insurance, what I can do, what as a bank can do, is to guide me and look at articles or promotion that is relevant from a bank's perspective, right? From a home mortgage insurance perspective. So AI assisted journey. So this comes from a customer care. And how many times when we look at brands' website, they are so heavily set up because I've got 50 business unit in one single brand, right? So I have 50 different drop-down menus. They are so difficult, so hard to navigate. So what you want to do is to be able to help assist and guide your customers in every single step. So for example, this is what we call a digital customer behavior trigger, right? So if I know that I've been reading on this insurance for a long time, you don't want to wait for that customer to carry on looking at other stuff and then get distracted and whatnot. You want to help them to make sure that they know what's the next step. Okay, you know what? You want to travel? Okay, let me look at your profile. I can send you a quotation. I can put together your portfolio and tell you what's the premium you're going to pay every month. So guide them through this assisted journey. Last but not least, again, sales and marketing, recommendation, upselling. And how do we do it? Because we know the persona. We know Juliet's persona. He likes golf, he likes cycling, he likes, kickboxing. And we know that because we know what you are reading. We know what you are interacting with. We know what you have been calling us in the past 5 months. You sign up for a travel credit card. What does it mean? That means I want to travel. Cool. Do you need a travel insurance? Right? So there's a lot of things that Gen AI can do to pick up all this science, to pick up all this information from the digital footprint and help the bank or organization put together this recommendation, right? And do a lot of upselling. And trust me, this upselling becomes really, you think that the consumer don't like it and it's like, okay, stop pushing me, all these things. The reason why a lot of customers don't like those push notification and whatnot, because it becomes a spam. So you want it personalized. You want a customer to resonate with what you are promoting on. And there's a gap today because we don't know how to personalize. And even though we do, it becomes a segment which has maybe 500,000 people in that segment. And you start blasting out the same promotion and campaign. So how do we individualize this recommendation to that persona only? Right? So we collect all those data points, we collect all those information, the digital footprint, we do an analysis, we understand the intent, and then we put forward all these recommendations. 30% is what we've seen of upselling opportunities. 6 to 9 months after deploying such solutions, we have seen an increase of 30 to 60% of conversion rates. All right, but there's always a but, isn't it? So the but is this. We keep talking about Gen AI, ChatGPT on the open internet. There's a bit of a risk, I would say. And don't get me wrong, all these risks will eventually be gone, it will be reduced, it will be gone. But as of today, what we are seeing is there's a lack of governance, IP, right? Copyright. There's a lack of governance, there's a lack of proper regulation for every country, right? Even the states. We are still lacking on some of this. And we talk about cybersecurity, fraud. BCA shows a very good video on that. And how do we even make sure that this doesn't happen, right? It's very challenging. Sustainability, we know AI takes up a lot of resources, a lot of compute powers. So a lot of thought process needs to go behind it and to carefully plan for it. Lack of transparency, we don't know what goes behind the scene. Right? We feed the data, we don't know what goes behind the scenes, it spits out something, it projects something. We don't know what's going on. And the last but not least, if you guys have used ChatGPT before, you know that data accuracy is a big problem. 3 days ago, if I ask a question, 3 days later, I ask another same question, ChatGPT might show me a different answer altogether. So you want to be very careful with this because you want to gut rail whatever ChatGPT is using, or GPT, right? Or Gen AI in this case. How Gen AI are using those data, how are the models being built to make sure that they only show contents or articles that are only relevant from your brand perspective. So brand constitution, right? You want to make sure that they are only adhering to what you have based on your policies, based on the information that you've been building on. So those are very key, important factors that we need to consider. All right, I've talked enough. Again, I don't want to steal Ash thunder, but I really want to give him some time to kind of take you guys through into this journey of how NICE approach a typical customer experience journey. All right, Ash, over to you.
All right, thanks, Edmund. So this morning, I'm going to actually give you a bit of a sense of how we actually apply Gen AI to business. So generative AI is a massive topic, and it means different things to different organizations. At NICE, we've created a new category called CXI, Customer Experience Interactions. And what that actually is, think about your customers engaging with you on your website. Think about customers engaging with you on your mobile app. Think about customers that call into your contact center. So with our solutions at NICE, our key is for organizations to own, influence, and impact every part of that customer journey, whether it be through engagement on your website, whether it be through your mobile app, or when they call into the contact center. As an organization, you want to own and influence that customer interaction in every way as much as possible. And it really all starts with the consumer experience or the customer experience. So as we've heard from all the speakers prior to me, including from Edmund, that essentially customer experience sits at the heart of what we do in most organizations. So knowing how to satisfy and influence your consumer or your customers remains of paramount importance to all organizations. And as a result, over time, technology has evolved. Back in the 80s, we introduced the likes of an IVR that added some intelligence to when a call came into the contact center. In the 90s, we added things like emails as well as web chats. And in the 2000s, we added FAQ bots, virtual bots, and so forth. But as Edmund has pointed out, there's a number of pitfalls, and we need to be wary of the impact of adding all these different channels to our contact center or to our business. What this has also resulted in is an impact on agent behavior. Forrester as well as Gartner done a recent study that really shows you the relevance as well as the impact that satisfaction levels have on agents. So if an agent is not equipped with the right tools, with the right facilities, his behaviors will then mirror out and influence a customer interaction as well. So things like ensuring that an agent has the right knowledge available to him at the right point in time. Things like ensuring that an agent is able to adjust or shift his schedule as required also becomes important. So not only is focusing on consumer behaviors and consumer experience important, but also ensuring our agents are well equipped and well prepared. The third stakeholder that's quite important in the process is the organization itself. These days we like to use the term brand experience or brands. So we want to make sure that with the way social media has evolved, brands can be impacted within seconds using things like X, or formerly known as Twitter, web chat, WhatsApp. A brand's reputation can be easily impacted. What we've done at NICE is created a single platform that addresses and focuses on all these different stakeholders. Our answer to the solution is a single platform that focuses on the entry points that's influencing consumers when they start engaging with our organization, on things like the web or any of the social media platforms. We then want to ensure that when they move over to, for example, a virtual bot, we're able to curate that experience, providing them with the same knowledge and a consistent brand experience, and providing them with well-fed, smart self-service options. The fourth pillar is centered around really empowering the agents, ensuring that by the time that consumer or that customer actually reaches the contact center, the agent is equipped with the right knowledge, has the right historical information of the customer, and is able to address the customer in the correct manner, in the correct point in time as well. And then finally, providing the business with a platform to really analyze all of that data. So we really want to focus on impacting and providing the right stakeholders with the right information. So whether it be influencing your consumer experience, whether it be influencing your brand or agent experience, we do it all off a single platform that has a single unified data layer sitting across all of these different channels. And why is that important? When you have a single data layer that influences your website, influences your app, as well as agent behaviors and business transformation, you're able to really analyze all the data that's centered structurally and that's saved and stored in a central location as well. All of this wrapped around Enlighten AI, which is our AI engine. So Enlighten AI is our AI engine that's the only industry-built engine that's built on billions of CX interactions, that's vertical specific, on data owned by NICE and can be. So going back to Edmund's point earlier about trusting the data, ensuring that it's secure and compliant, that's what we've done with Enlighten AI. And when Enlighten AI is switched on and applied into the different pillars, you're able to influence each step of the customer journey using pre-built CX-focused models that are tried and tested with the industry's leading engine behind it that we call Enlighten AI. And all of this sits on a single platform that we call CX1. And that allows us to really orchestrate and manage the entire consumer experience and the consumer's journey with us, hence the concept CXI. So our CXI platform is reliable, secure, and provides even carrier-grade telephony. It can be a combination of a hybrid solution, cloud, or on-prem hybrid, as I've mentioned. What sits beneath this is a set of technologies that really empower and influence every element and every step of a customer's journey. We don't necessarily recommend an organization lift and shift all the different tools within the environment to drive a better CX strategy, but we really work with organizations to identify areas that are of importance, areas that we should focus on, and then start using our technology to impact the consumer experience. So, earlier Edmund asked me, where do we actually start with a digital transformation journey? And the key is really understanding where the pain points are of your customer. You might find that there could be some challenge related to self-service, or there could be some challenge related to getting the right information on your website. That's fine. We use our same CXI platform or CX1 platform that uses our AI engine to feed the right information to that particular consumer on your website. If a pain point is at a different channel, things like WhatsApp, or even if you might have a perfect web program in place, a perfect virtual bot or self-service program in place, but the challenge might lie within the contact center. So then we have solutions that actually impact an agent and help them drive better outcomes when engaging with customers. So the key is really understanding where your pain points are and then leveraging the technology in a manner that's required by the organization to drive change and to be impactful as well. Earlier I've mentioned that technology's evolved over the years with things like IVR and things like smart self-service, smart bots, and so forth. And this also resulted in a lot of pointed solutions. Our CXI platform has the same capability and intelligence as point solutions, but all on a single platform with a single data repository that's powered and fueled by our Enlighten AI engine. So what lies ahead? This is where we're at the moment with NICE. We've got some awesome tools, awesome capabilities that really help drive generative AI and digital transformation within an organization. But we need to look ahead and we need to look into the future. And for that, we turn to two new modules that really impact consumer experience, the brand experience, and agent experience. So impacting all stakeholders in the journey. And we call that, as part of our platform, Enlighten Autopilot. Enlighten Autopilot is all about ensuring you have intelligent bots that provide the right information to your consumers when needed. So without any human intervention, you have an intelligent bot that's powered by our Enlighten AI engine, driving a better customer experience for your agent. I've got a short presentation that would show you Enlighten Autopilot in a bit more action. And the last one is around Enlighten Copilot. That's really ensuring your agents get the right information in an automated fashion on a single dashboard. And with that said, I'm going to actually go ahead and play you a short clip on how we're actually reshaping the future of CX with CXI and NICE CX1.
NICE is revolutionizing the CX market once more with Enlighten, the only purpose-built AI for CX. With Enlighten Autopilot, consumers enjoy agentless experiences that are as good as with the best human agents on any channel they choose.
I booked a trip and I need to extend it by 1 day.
I can extend your reservation and change your flight. It will be an additional cost of $533.09.
Enlighten Autopilot identifies the best CX processes to automate, understands complex consumer intents, and delivers the optimal responses and flows to the specific need. With Enlighten Copilot, agents are empowered to become superhumans and deliver incredible experiences.
No worries. I see that you're a One Travel Rewards member and that you're covered by our travel protection plan.
Copilot provides the agent with behavior guidance, the right knowledge articles, proactive assistance, and suggested automatic reactions. With Copilot, agents behave exactly as the consumer expects and do more much faster. And like the agent, Copilot gives supervisors a single workspace for all their work. It also automatically assesses and scores all interactions and agents in real time, so supervisors can evaluate what's going on and provide timely, proactive assistance. With Enlighten Actions, business leaders can not only quickly get to insights, but also operationalize changes literally with the click of a button. Only CX1 has AI for CX embedded and operationalized consistently across all its applications. It transforms fragmented consumer experiences, empowers agents, and lets businesses gain customer loyalty while reducing expense, reshaping the future of CX from end to end.
All right, so that brings us to the end of the presentation in a sense. And now you have also a view of how we at NICE use Enlighten AI, which is our generative AI engine, to really transform customer experiences for businesses and organizations. Later today, feel free to join us in our booth at the back. We even have our CX Interactions event coming up in Jakarta next week. Please feel free to join us, come and have a discussion, and we can give you a bit more details and insights into how we leverage Enlighten AI to transform businesses. And with that said, Edmund,
Polling?
we've got some time for polling, but before we do, very quick statement on our footprint in Indonesia. We're working with some of the largest organizations. We've got a set of world-class business partners that are local in Indonesia, driving all our solutions. So we've got 2 or 3 polling questions. Edmund has a couple of vouchers that he's happy to hand out to anybody in the in the crowd. And I think the first one is really centered on how likely are you to explore generative AI solutions within the next 3 to 6 months? Do we have any takers? Anybody's interested in sharing their view?
Anyone? That's... If not, I'm just coming around for some of your answers. Anyone's got any comments? Yes? No? Sir? Do you have any plans to roll out Gen AI in the next couple of months?
Yeah, maybe I have to answer it. The okay, okay. I'm very likely when you explain, Mr. S. The generate I think is the solution for now for customer experience, especially for call center. Maybe I have good, nice to asking more question and more my apa curious. I'm so curious about the AI generation. It's it for me. Thank you.
Cool, thank you. This is a gift card from Starbucks. Enjoy your coffee. All right, Ash, let's move on. Yes.
All right, quick. We have two more questions, right? Which areas can your organization benefit the most from Gen AI?
Right. Anyone? Just one last question, yeah? One last question. Anyone? No? Any? All right, cool.
Can I just ask rather than answer the question?
Sure, sure.
Yeah. I just want to know, what if this Gen AI met kind of complex customer or complicated customer? Because we can detect the sentiment of the customer, but how about if we met the complicated customer? So before the AI can recommend any kind of solution, but it still need to detect first what is the main pain point that faced by the customer. Thank you.
Sure, we'll be more than happy to answer that. Let's have this discussion offline, as I think we're out of time. So we've got the perfect answer for you on that.
Give me 1 minute to answer your question. Enlighten is the answer to it because of the models, and NICE traditionally do recordings. So we understand sentiments of billions data sets. So we already have those sentiments. We know what is right, how should we respond, how is it going to affect the response back to your customer. So that's going to be important because it might be aggressive, right? It might be wrong. And then your customer in this complex journey is going to be very upset, right? So this is for you. All right, thank you everyone. Ash.
All right, perfect. And thanks again for your time this morning. Feel free to scan the QR code to register for our event next week at the Mulia. We'd love to see you and have a bit more of a deeper discussion around CXI and how we can help you transform your organization. With that said, have a good lunch and a good day further. Thank you again.
Terima kasih.